Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all to this resumption of this morning program. I'll just share the screen. Okay, you're all able to see the screen? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So this is from the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the chapter titled Prescribed Duties of Mankind in the 2nd chapter. So this is the story connected to Ajamila and realization connected to Ajamila. So that is what we will discuss today. And I'll also conclude from the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What does it say? So I picked very specific verses for today's class. First one we will discuss is 6.2.7 from Srimad Bhagavatam. Ayam hi krita nirvesho janma koti amhasam api yad vyajahara vivavasho namasvasti ayanam hare. Look at the words that are being used here. Krita nivesha. This means people in our day-to-day life, they know they are committing sins. Why sins are being committed? Either because of karma or because the senses are desiring for achieving something, accomplishing something, which is fruitive in nature and which is self-centric in nature and clearly born out of desires and triggered out of modes of passion and ignorance. So, people in general know this. So what they're doing? They want atonement, prayashchitta. So they want atonement and hence they are searching for various methods. Some people perform certain yajnas at home. Some people give donations, dana and dharma, to the needy and to the brahmanas. Some people, they go to the temple and do various performances of archana or puja and plead to the Achuvigraha. And some people, what do? They go to Punyasthalas. They take bath in the holy river. They do parikrama by taking austerity, like walking in a wet dress, or doing walking barefoot, or doing certain devotional activities, empty stomach. So like that, they do atonement. Ajamila has already atoned for all his sinful actions. Indeed, he has atoned not only for his sins performed in one life, but for those performed in millions of lives. Millions of lives means in the previous lives also. For in helpless condition, he chanted the name of Narayana. So, seeking the help of Narayana, or asking him to provide shelter, begging him for it. By doing that, he called out the name of Narayana, by which what benefit he received? He received that all the sins, karmic reactions that he had, completely washed away in the current life and the past life. And look at the Ajnata Sukriti of the Lord. It says, even though he did not chant properly, this is Namabhash. What is Namabhas? Namabhas means chanting the name with offenses. So he was chanting in an improper manner. He chanted without offenses, and therefore he is pure and eligible for liberation. So here, Nama Aparad, Nama Bas, Suddhana. Three of them are there. So now, what are the three stages? The purest chanting is Shuddhanam. The chanting with proper words but improper consciousness is Namabhash. Chanting with improper consciousness and not even chanting the words properly is Namaparad. So look at him. He was chanting not purely. That means he was not in Shuddhanam. Then it says he chanted without offenses. That means he was not in Namaparad, but he was in Namabhash. And therefore, he is now pure and eligible for liberation. So that means one need not reach the state of Shuddhanam, even if it reaches the state of Namabhas, the intermediate stage in the chanting of the holy name, is still eligible for liberation. Okay, let's look at the purport here. The Yamadutas had considered only the external situation of Ajamila. So what is that external situation? External situation means the activities that was performed by this gross body, which led to sinful life. That means he was leading life with a prostitute. And he was doing other nonsensical activities. So they saw that. They said, okay, he needs to be punished. And he was not only doing it for once or twice. After he got attracted to the prostitutes around the age of 20s, he continued this till the age of 80. That means so many years in his life, throughout the life, he's been practicing sinful. And hence he said, as a reaction to all the sins you have committed, the Yamadutas, who are assistants or servants of Yamaraj, they saw that and they came to Ajamila to award him hellish conditions of life. Now, at that time, when Ajamila saw these Yamadutas in a very gory form, these Yamaduta, they have a subtle body. They don't have a body like us, which is gross, made up of earthly elements. They can, their bodies are like energy. They can just penetrate through the walls, holes, just like that they can enter the house. So wherever we are, they can just penetrate and then be there in front of us. Same like Vishnudutas. So the Vishnudutas are telling the 4 syllables was chanted the name of Narayana at the time of death. And hence they told the Yamarajas, even though he was sinful in his entire life, even though he did not seek atonement, this name of Narayana is enough for atonement. So hence, you cannot take him to hellish conditions of life. So that's how the Vishnudutas stopped these Yamadutas from touching Ajamila from his deathbed. So now look at this, what Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura is commenting. He says, Namno hi yavati shaktihi papa nirharane harihi tavat kartum na shaknoti patakam pataki naraha. Simply by chanting one holy name of Hari, a sinful man can counteract and reactions to more sins than he is able to commit. Look at this. This is phenomenal. It's told in Brihad Vishnu Purana. So, let's say I was able to commit only 1,000,000 sins in this life, and I did not have time, did not have the ability to commit more than that. Still, the holy name is so powerful that it can eradicate the reactions of that holy name. Is the holy name not wonderful? Okay. So this is the first set of slokas. So let's look at the next one.
Prabhu, I have a question, Prabhu.
Sure.
Sorry for interrupting.
No. You can ask questions at any point in time.
Prabhu, in that case, what happens is everyone will start doing the sins and take the name of the holy name, and the sins will be eradicated. And what happens to their karma? Will it get carried away to the next janma, or how?
So in the previous slokas, if you read, it says the past lives. That means if, let's say, each one of us had 10,000 births in this life here, the karmas out of those 10,000 births, the karma in the current life, they all get vanquished. They get eradicated. That is the power of holy name. That's what the Shastra concludes. Okay? So now your question is, everyone will chant the name and go back home. Let them go home. That's the whole idea. There is no privilege of someone should stay here. This place is not a good place to stay. Right? So everyone should go home. That's the objective. Why is a Nagar Sankirtan done? Nagar Sankirtan is a group of devotees. They'll hold a mic and they'll go on singing the holy name on the streets, every street of the city. Now, someone may be inside the kitchen, inside the bathroom, he may be sleeping, he may be awake, whatever, maybe he'll hear that holy name. Knowingly or unknowingly, he may chant. For him also, the reactions are eradicated. That's the power of holy name. That's the mercy of the Lord. Right?
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu.
So how long is this mercy available? So when Chaitanya Prabhu came, he started the Sankirtan movement. Right? So from the Shastra predicts that from the time of his birth, 10,000 years, which is called as the golden age, this particular mercy is available. The special mercy of chanting the holy name and getting liberated. And how powerful does it say, the Shastra? It says, what people attained in Satya Yuga by performing great meditation for 10,000s of years, intense meditation, and they achieved the lotus feet of the Lord, the same result is obtained by chanting the holy name in Kali Yuga. Look at the power of the holy name. What people achieved, the final destination, Paramam Gatam, by chanting, not by chanting, by performing of great yajnas in the Treta Yuga. And these yajnas are to be performed for thousands of years, is achieved by chanting and hearing the holy name by a pure devotee of the Lord in Kali Yuga. And it says that what people achieved, the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, by doing Archana Seva, by visiting the holy dhams and hearing the Katha and performing that Archana Seva to that Vigraha, is achieved again by the same holy name. So that's the power of this holy name. The objective of holy name is for welfare of all. That's why it is so. Helps, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Anil Prabhu's question was, can we continue to do sins and just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, will our sins are eradicated? That's what, am I right, Anil Prabhu?
To be precise, that was the question, Prabhu.
But you have to ask clearly, no? Prabhu will answer clearly.
So now his question is, okay, I'm committing sins, I'm chanting, and I'm again committing sins. So what's the use?
Right? Very true. Very true. Thanks, Prabhu.
So Prabhupada said, Sankirtan should be done at all times. Okay. Now, why? Now, there are two types and variations in the consciousness. One is called the realized consciousness, and another is called unrealized consciousness. Okay. Now, what is realized consciousness? We'll first understand what is unrealized consciousness. So, people will read this. Hey, I heard this Ajamila. He chanted the name of Narayana. He got liberated. So, I'll also get the chance to chant the name of Narayana. I'll also get liberated. So, he's got only one goal, that I'll chant Narayana, I'll go back home. But he's not making corrections to his day-to-day life. So that means, on one side is performing sins, other side is chanting the holy name. That means he's chanting the holy name for a fruitive benefit, not for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. So, in the 10 offenses, if you read, it says that if you have a fruitive mentality and chant the holy name of the Lord, then the reactions will only multiply, will not get eradicated. Because it's a misuse. Okay. However, a realized soul, he understands this. Oh, I'm not supposed to be leading a sinful life, but I'm supposed to chant the holy name of the Lord, because unknowingly I'll be committing mistakes. Unknowingly I may commit offenses. Because the Shastra Vidhis are very deep and very intense. So, due to my day-to-day life, I may commit offenses in an unknown manner. So that, what happens, the holy name will eradicate. But knowingly I'll commit offense, but I'll chant the holy name, that will not give the result. That's what the Shastra concludes.
Prabhu, but when he was on a deathbed, he knows that he has done the sins. Every person will know. See, the inner conscious will tell you whether it is right or wrong. It is not the other person who has to. Sometimes the other person has to say and get it rectified. But in general, if you have to literally say, "Sir, I have done mistakes. I know what I have done it." But ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹರಿನಾಮ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಇವಾಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆತ್ ಬೆಡ್, ಹಿ ಟುಕ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾರಾಯಣ, ಹಿ ಗೆಟ್ liberated.
So you have to understand higher principles in the chanting of the holy name. The chanting of the holy name is possible only by the mercy of the Lord. Okay. Mercy of the Lord cannot be purchased by our mind acting in a technical manner or in an intelligent manner. Because the Lord will ensure that you forget him at the time of deathbed. Okay? And an example could be an aghast death. It could be so aghast that he may not be able to remember the Lord. Or the death could be through a surgery in an anesthetic stage, or through a comatic stage, or through many, many situations where he will not be able to remember the Lord. So that means the awarding of the death is also the mercy of the Lord. So hence, it is better to lead a pure life to please the Lord, so that he awards a death where you are able to remember the Lord. That is also another factor to consider. So, the last sloka of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Now, what does that mean? It means he is the master of all the mystic potencies. Which means, by usage of any logic, nyaya, and buddhi, shastric evidence, one cannot defeat this purpose and we know the situation. That's the point here. There are many stories in Bhagavatam to prove this point. So, for example, in the Samudra Manthan Leela, if you see, the demons were very smart in taking away the pot of Amrut from the Samudra which came out through Dhanvantri. They were running. So they thought, there could be crores of demigods, I don't care. I'll take it and run away. They were running away, they said, we got it. But the Lord was so smart that he grabbed it away from them. They lost Amrit. Now, out of the two people thought, okay, let me be more intelligent. I will change my form and I'll sit along with the Ihadevatas in their place, because the Lord is serving the Amrit to each and every one who's sitting for the lunch. But the Lord still saw them. He chopped the head of them. So you can understand from this, the mystic potency of the Lord is unlimited. Which means one cannot become very intelligent in bypassing the rules and regulation and then do it. If someone is genuine, he'll be awarded the mercy. If someone is ingenuine, he will not be awarded the mercy. That's the point here. So in case of Ajamila, what happened? Yeah, he performed sinful activities, but he genuinely cried out the name of Narayana without knowing the potency of the name Narayana. Still, he got the benefit. That is the point here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, shall we move forward?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, this is from 6.2.11. Na nishkritair uditair brahmavadibhi tata vishuddhyati agavan pritadibihi yata hare nama pade udara kritais tat uttama sloka gunopalambakam. So this is very, very important. Translation. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement. Okay. So what are the various ritualistic ceremonies? Someone performing a Sudarshana Homa. Then you have that Ananta Varta that people do now. Certain festivals like this. Or undergoing atonement. Atonement means they'll say, oh, in the month of Magha, I'll eat only once a meal. Or I will take bath like 4 o'clock in cold water. And I will eat only rice without salt. Like that, they take atonement. Sinful men do not become purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. So it means, even by doing those, the purification may not happen. But just by chanting the holy name, the purification will happen. That's what Bhagavatam is assuring. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reaction, that means one may commit sin by performing a ritualistic or an austerity, but because he doesn't have the knowledge, he doesn't have association of devotees, what does he do? He once again commit those mistakes because the senses are desiring to commit those offenses. That's his consciousness. So, the principle of Krishna consciousness is change your consciousness. Don't worry about your habits. Change your consciousness, automatically your habits and your lifestyle will change. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service. See, change of consciousness not happened. It is still materialistic in nature. It is still sinful nature. Unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which remains one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. So, chanting the glories of Krishna means calling out his name for help and also discussing the katha of the Lord, which either glorify his associates, his principal devotees, or glorifies the Lord's fame and Lord's qualities. This is what is important. This discussion of this katha will bring in devotional service in your heart. You will become a follower, a disciple of the Lord through the parampara, then you will be able to chant the holy name. That holy name is very, very powerful. That's what the Shastra is recommending here. Let's read this purport here. Can I request someone to read this purport? Who wants to read?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Read.
Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the chanting of the holy name of the Lord has a special significance that distinguishes it from the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies of atonement for severe, more severe, or most severe sinful actions. There are 20 types of religious scriptures called Dharma Shastra, beginning with the Manu Samhita and Parasar Samhita. But herein it is stressed that although one may become free from the reactions of the most sinful activities by following the religious principles of these scriptures, this cannot promote a sinful man to the stage of loving service to the Lord. On the other hand, chanting the holy name of the Lord even once not only frees one immediately from the reactions of the greatest sins, but also raises one to the platform of rendering loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described as Uttam Sloka because he is famous for his glorious activities. Thus, one serves the Lord by remembering his form, his attributes, and pastimes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that this is all possible simply by chanting the Lord's holy name because of Lord's omnipotence. What cannot be achieved through the performance of Vedic rituals can be easily achieved through the chanting of the Lord's holy name. To chant the holy name and dance in ecstasy is so easy and sublime that one can achieve all the benefits of a spiritual life simply by following this process. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtan. The Sankirtan movement we have started offers the best process for becoming purified of all sinful reactions and coming immediately to the platform of spiritual life.
Hare Krishna. So Param Vijayate. Param means something supreme, something topmost. Vijayate means victory. Sri Krishna Sankirtan. So it's all supreme victory by chanting the holy names of Sri Krishna. That's what it's concluding. So now you can see, you can take any Shastra, any Purana, any Samhita, and then say, hey, it is told here, do like this, it is told here, do like that. Yes, you can do all those things. But they are more mechanical in nature, that it doesn't involve purity in your heart to love your Supreme. So in that case, what happens? You are neutralizing a particular sinful reaction by your austerity or your religious principles, but you are not generating love of Godhead. Now, love of Godhead will change our consciousness. Change of consciousness means you will see you will not perform any more sinful life. That's the point here. Any questions on this? Okay. So let's read the next sloka. Sanketyam parihashyam va stobam helanam eva va vaikunta nama grahanam asheshaga haram viduhu. Now look at this. It says parihashyam. Parihashyam in Sanskrit means casually, just like that. No seriousness also, just like that, joking. So it says something done jokingly. Do you think it have any effect in our life also? Have you seen? No. And it says thobam, like an entertainment. Okay. Translation. Look at this glories of this holy name. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from reactions of unlimited sins. So even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly, for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully, this is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures. See the power of the holy name. Now the Lord is telling, I have invested all these benefits in my holy name. Why are you not purchasing it from me? And it is free of cost. You don't need to pay millions of dollars. It's free of cost. You can purchase from me. Keep it very dear to your heart and always take shelter of the holy name. So, a realized devotee, what will he do? He takes a commitment, 16 rounds, I will chant every day. Okay, good. But a devotee who's really realized, he will plan his day, his duties of his business, activities that he's doing, and he'll come back and chant more. The chant more, even if it is one round, is clearly an indication of his attraction to the holy name. If someone says, I'm not getting attracted, then he has to plead more mercy from the Lord to get attracted. And that's the whole point here. So go on chanting. Don't stop beyond chanting. And that's what our acharyas have taught us. So people who are in 4 rounds, they should quickly migrate to 16 rounds. People in 8 rounds, quickly jump to 16 rounds. And people in 16 rounds, you should now start making plans. How do I reduce my material activities so that I give more time for chanting? And chanting is not only ecstasy of the Lord, it is also knowledge of the Lord. Now, what does it do? Chanting gives you devotion service. Now, when you know devotion service, Lord is so happy, then Lord tells, whoever is my devotee, to him I reveal myself. So when the Lord reveals, what does the sloka say? Vedaischa sarvais ahameva vedyam. By reading of the Vedas, what do you conclude? That you conclude that Krishna is the beginning and the end of everything and anything. So that means the knowledge about the Lord, the knowledge about the Veda Shastra is also included in it, and one comes to know about it. So that's the power of the holy name. So take shelter. Sounds good? Okay. So now I will, okay, this one sloka, this is also very good. Now, when Lord created this Panchabhuta, there are many aspects of this Panchabhuta, right? So, for example, this air that he created, for example, you just see this practical application. Let's say there's a bad smell in your bathroom. Just by putting exhaust fan, that means you're taking away that contaminated air and then putting in fresh air. You see the whole place is regenerated, right? Just by, sending a breeze, all the negativity in the environment is just taken away and fresh fragrance is introduced. See the power of air. Look at the power of water. It can dissolve most of the things and make this place clean from dirtiness. Fire. What fire can do? Fire can burn anything and everything. It can just burn and bring that to ashes. So now, our birth has produced this gross body. So what is this gross body? It's just material in nature. It just consists of senses, be it your organs, be it your skin, be it your mind, just a combination of senses. Now, this sense, by constantly accumulating or an association with illusion, it has become very sinful in nature. So what does this fire do? It can burn away that body, including all those things. So similarly, the acharyas are equating the holy name to that. And that's why this sloka. Ajnanat atava jnanat uttama sloka nama yat sankirtitam agam pumso dahet yedo yata nalaha. Translation. As fire burns dry grass to ashes. So if you go to a paddy field, you will see after the paddy is harvested, they'll keep this dry grass in huge heaps. Just you need one matchstick, that's all. You can burn the entire thing. It says, the holy name of the Lord can burn all our negative thoughts in our consciousness, can burn ill feelings in our consciousness. And not only that, it can also devastate all the reactions of our sinful activities. You can remove that also. That's what Acharya is writing here. So look at the power of the holy name. So we should go on chanting the holy name. Satatam kirtayantoma. Non-stop chant the holy name. Whenever you have time. Our biggest problem is we do prajalpa. What is prajalpa? Sitting and talking. Unwanted things. You know what? He said that. She said that. He did this. She did this. That happened. This happened. And how much time you lost? Hours together. And why do you do that? Pleasure to your senses. What is the benefit? Zero. And what is the sinful reaction? Negative. Because you offended people in the heart, knowingly and unknowingly. But even though this prajalpa is so negative, we all like it. And we want to do it again and again. Santa Shastra is saying, whenever you get into that situation, why you want to do prajalpa and accumulate sinful reaction? Instead, chant the holy name and receive love of Godhead. See, this is how we should upgrade ourselves. Prabhuji, I know this. I learned this. Okay. Now we read about the glories of the holy name. Now we will see the conclusion. What happens to us by this performance of Sankirtana Yajna? Yeah. So we'll read this. It's a very, very beautiful sloka, 44 and 48 from the 12th canto. Yan namadeyam mriyamana aturaha patan skhalam va vivasho grinan pumam vimutta karma galavuttamam gatim prapnoti yakshyanti natam khalau janaha. So now Bhagavatam is telling, all of us who are born in this world will have to die. You must have witnessed in your life. Many people die in many ways. Right? Some in an accident, some due to acts of nature. Like, for example, we had this earthquake in Turkey, which just killed thousands of people just like that. And that too, they were sleeping. In the midnight, about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, something had happened. And then they died in the sleep only. So like that, you see, some dies happily, some dies ghastly, sometimes ignorantly. Many, many ways people die. Now, what Krishna says in the Gita? When you're dying, a biggest process is happening. What? The Jiva Atma, which is residing in this body, is now going to get separated. Okay? Now, when it is going to get separated, the next question is, the Jiva Atma needs another body to perform its activities. Either it can be material or it can be spiritual. Now, at the time of leaving the body, if the Atma says, I don't want this material body anymore, I want a spiritual body henceforth, that means the Atma is expressing its desire in a very, very, in loving, pure format. Is really requesting the Lord, I don't want this material body anymore. I want a spiritual body to perform my activities in service of you, my Lord. Then the Lord says, accordingly I award. What is accordingly I award? According to the desire of the Atma, I give him what he needs. So, the death becomes a very, very crucial aspect in one's life. Just like we have our final exam in our engineering or doctor or chartered accountancy or whatever professional degrees we have. And that final exam determines whether you are that qualified person or not. So similarly, the death is the final exam that determines our future. We have to pass that exam. If you want to pass that exam, we have to prepare a lot and pass many, many preliminary unit tests in our life. So look at this sloka. What does it say? Translation. Terrified, about to die. About to die means the soul is going to get separated from this body. A man collapses on his bed. Although his voice is faltering and is hardly conscious of what he is saying. He doesn't even know what he's speaking. He doesn't even know what's around. This consciousness is fully faltering. If he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord in that state, he can be freed from the reactions of fruitive activity and achieve the supreme destination. Even though the Lord has benedicted the holy name with this power, the people in this age of Kali do not worship. So there's a saying in English, the horse needs the water to survive. Okay? The horseman, what he can do? He can make a small pot of water and take the horse to the water and make it to drink. Even after all this effort, the horse has to drink. The horse doesn't drink the water, it will die. So, the Lord can make all arrangements for us. It can give devotees. It can give this knowledge to Shastric evidence. He can do by he descending personally and performing the Leelas. He can send great personalities like Srila Prabhupada and other Acharyas. He can do all these things for us. But still, we have to complete that journey. That is in our hands. If we don't do that, who's to be blamed? Us. And that's the point here. So, please prioritize chanting of the holy name as the most important activity in a day for you. And do that happily, nourishingly, for the pleasure of Lord. Okay, one last sloka for the day.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, what happens if the person is not, he's not, his eyes are open, he's not fully conscious of his senses, but he is in a deathbed, and people surrounding him are mourning for his death and chanting the holy name. Will that be helpful for him, or how it will be, Prabhu?
So now let's say someone is in deathbed and people around him are devotees and they are chanting the holy name. That chanting will be heard by him. Now, if he is a sattvic person, or if he is practiced Krishna conscious to some degree, I'm not even talking higher degree, then once he hears that holy name, there's a chance that he may repeat that holy name within his heart. That may help him a lot. At the end of the day, he has to hear and repeat that holy name in his consciousness. Now, is it possible or not? Let us see. You must have heard of Dhun box, right? You put the Dhun box, it will keep on reciting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It keeps on repeating this. Now, but look at in your mundane life. You once or twice you will hear But the rest of the time, the sound is going on, but you will not even pay attention to it. You will go on doing your duty and your mind is in that activity. So just like that, a person on the deathbed who has not practiced Krishna conscious, he may hear all these sounds around him, but if his consciousness is not all right, he may not chant the holy name. If he chants the holy name by Ajnata Sukriti out of fear or sin, still it is beneficial for him. But he may not chant the holy name. That's a very important observation we need to have. So which means when life is favorable for us in terms of situation, time, and health, let us chant the holy name as much as possible. Because that is an investment and savings that you do, which will help you at your deathbed. That's my opinion on for your question, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So we do not know what state of consciousness he is in. So that's why Krishna says, whatever state of consciousness you left the body, the same state you will achieve. If the consciousness is in state of ignorance, you will achieve ignorance, which means material life. If the consciousness is in Shuddha Sattvikam, you will achieve that, which is spiritual life. So it's all about your consciousness. Can you change it? It is possible in this life by our activities. And that's what the Lord is saying. Okay, so let's read this sloka. It's a very beautiful sloka. Canto 12, chapter 12, text 48. Sankirtayamano Bhagavan Anantaha Shrutanu Bhavo Vyasanam hi Pumsam Pravishya Chittam Vidunoti Ashesham Yata Tamo Rikto Brahm Ivativataha. Translation. When people properly glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or simply hear about His power, see? For example, I'm doing the first part. I'm trying to glorify the Lord. And you're all doing the second part. You're doing Shravanam. The Lord personally enters their heart and cleanses away every trace of misfortune. That means the Lord enters my heart to clear distaste, misfortune, and give me fortune. It also enters your heart, cleanses all your hearts also. Because I did Kirtanam as an activity, you did Shravanam as an activity. In fact, Shravanam is higher than Kirtanam. Why? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. That's how the sloka even starts. The first is Shravanam. Okay. Just as the sun removes the darkness, or as a powerful wind drives away the clouds. So just in the dark room, you just bring on candle lamp. Immediately all the ignorance is taken away and knowledge is brought. So that's the power of the chanting of the holy name. One may not be satisfied by the example of the sun removing the darkness, since sometimes darkness in a cave is not removed by the sun. Because there are some locations the sunlight cannot penetrate. Therefore, the example is given of a strong wind that drives away a cover of clouds. Because the wind, even though areas where sun cannot enter, the wind can enter. Thus, it is thus emphatically stated here that the Supreme Lord will remove from the heart of his devotee the darkness of material illusion by the power of holy name. See, you can understand what the declaration of the Lord is declared by the Lord himself. So, if we are intelligent, we should take this path very strongly. And whomever we like, whomever we love, and what Shastra says, we should love everyone. We should give this knowledge. It says you should give this knowledge indiscriminately. That means do not say, hey, he's my uncle, so I'll give. He is someone very far, I won't give. No, don't do that. Whoever it may be, give them a fair chance. The Lord has given them the fair chance. Why we should stop it? So that is the most important thought process we should build. We should distribute the books. We should give the holy name. We should go to various places to preach. Preaching is the essence of our life. Preaching makes us to sing the holy name, makes us to discuss the katha, the pastimes, the glories of the Lord. And thereby it induces devotion services in our heart. Okay. So now we'll take questions for 5 minutes.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Wonderful.
Prabhu, 3 types of this thing. It is one is Shuddha Nama, next is Nama Bhasha, Nama Aparada. In Shuddha Bhasha, this thing, it is pure chanting and pure consciousness. Nama Bhasha, it is.
I'll explain. Madhu, I'll tell you how to remember this in a very simple manner. Okay. So now you want to reach Mayapur. Mayapur is where Lord Mahaprabhu is there, no? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So his Dham is Holy Dham. That means his Dham is Vaikuntha, correct?
Okay.
So that's your destination, correct? So Mayapur is an island, correct? Navadvip.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you have to take a bridge to cross the water and reach Mayapur. So now you are in Calcutta. You're on the other side of it. So now Mayapur is on other side. So now you have to take a bridge or a boat to cross the river and reach Mayapur. So now by sitting in Calcutta and starting to make your own ideas about Mayapur, you've not seen Mayapur yet. You're making your own ideas. Could be that, could be this. So what? So like this. It's like Nama Aparada.
Okay.
Chanting the Lord, yeah, there is Lord I know, but somewhere I will chant, somewhat I will do. Nama Aparada. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
the Lord is in Mayapur. So wherever he is, the environment plays around him, everything is completely purified. Okay? So once you reach Mayapur, you will see the Lord in front of you.
That is
His
Shuddha.
lotus feet, his paraphernalia, his associates, his plate, his prasadam, everything you'll see. In that ecstasy, when you chant, that is Shuddhanam. Pure, no more doubts, no more ideas. Okay? So now after this clear, Shuddhanam is clear. Now, from Calcutta, you're making the desire. Oh, I have to reach that place, Mayapur. I know that is the ultimate for a human being to reach. That is Mayapur. I want to reach that place. So either you took a vehicle to cross the bridge, you took a boat to cross the bridge, cross the waters. Okay. So your path of traversing, either by the bridge or by the boat, to reach that Shuddhanam is called Namabash.
Is called Prabhu?
Namabash.
Okay.
Okay. So Namabhas is you are still chanting with mistakes, but you have the desire and enthusiasm to cleanse and reach the final destination.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
So now we can remember 3 stages.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hari Hari.
Mayapur only, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Others? Questions? Hare Krishna. So take your time to throw your question. Huh?
Prabhu, whenever we chant the holy name, we should be always be conscious with Lord Krishna and chant. That is the only powerful, right? I mean, that's the correct practice as well.
So let's see whether it's correct or wrong. So what's your Mataji, what is your one? Tell me one favorite dish you like to cook.
Paneer butter masala.
Paneer butter masala. Okay, very tasty also. Okay, good. So now what you did, the ingredients, of course, is like probably tomatoes, some spices, paneer, maybe some butter, etc., etc. You got all those dishes. The stove is ready in front of you. You chopped all of them in the correct format to prepare. Now what you're doing, suddenly you thought about a problem or maybe your desire to enjoy. Let's say you like Japan and you're thinking about Japan. And you're mechanically preparing paneer butter masala. Your mind is in Japan. You're thinking of the sakura tree. You're thinking of the Tower of Tokyo. You're thinking of the bullet train in Japan. But you're mechanically putting paneer. You're mechanically putting the tawa. You're mechanically doing without knowing what you're doing. So now, 15 minutes, 20 minutes over. Your dish is finally prepared. What will you have prepared? Paneer butter masala or something else?
Paneer butter masala with unconscious mind.
No. No, forget unconscious mind. Do you really believe you would have prepared paneer butter masala?
It won't taste good.
In my view, you would have not even prepared paneer butter masala. You would have prepared something else.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yes, Prabhu.
So now, does this answer your question? Can I chant without proper state of consciousness?
No. You should chant with consciousness.
Yes. If you don't chant with consciousness, your destiny will vary. Why? So Lord says, the Vaikuntha planets are not one in nature. They are innumerable in nature. Innumerable. He says they're countless. Because that's the leelas that the Lord has performed. Right? And the variety in the Vaikuntha planets are also innumerable in nature. So that means what destiny we want, we could read somewhere else. And sometimes that, we may be in such a state of ignorance, we may not even reach the Vaikuntha planets. We may reach some other planets in the material world itself. So let us be very clear about our destiny. Let's be very clear about our enthusiasm. If I want to take my car and drive to Bombay, let me follow the signs properly so that I drive to Bombay. Otherwise, Bombay will exist, car will exist, I will exist, the route maps will exist, the roads will exist. We will not reach Bombay. I would have probably reached Hyderabad because I didn't care to see the signboards. Correct, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhu.
So simple. Yes, Hare Krishna. Any other questions? All good?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay. I hope today's class was nectarian and it helps each one of us to practice devotion in a nice, consistent manner. I pray for each one of you and I'll pray for myself that let us all become very serious to chant the holy name, not just the rounds. Okay, I finished 16 rounds, I finished 8 rounds. No. Let us apply our consciousness. Our consciousness will go everywhere, all around the world. Drag it back to hear Krishna. Drag it back to hear the holy name. Drag it back to enjoy the nectar of the holy name. Let's do that. Okay? Thank
Prabhuji,
you.
one more question.
Yes,
We can't sit for a long time and chant. Can we walk and chant?
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah, thank you.
You can walk with your legs, with your hands, no problem. You can chant.
Okay,
So
Prabhuji.
chanting do not have any rules. Okay? There's very basic rules. For example, always chant with beads because you'll know the exact count.
Yes.
Wow. Secondly, have the beads within a bag and chant. Okay, why? Because one is the dirtiness, we may keep the beads somewhere here and there. We should protect it from dirt and unwanted things. So that's one. Secondly, this holy name is a great demand in the market. Which market? The entire Prakriti. There are a lot of ghostly objects. There are a lot of Devatas. There are lots of others who want the benefit of this holy name. So when you chant without a bag, there's a greater chance that they may grab your opportunity. Okay? So don't relate that. Hence, chant the holy name within a bag.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that is
Yeah.
one rule. You can stand and chant, walk and chant, sit and chant, but at least hear what you're chanting.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so that way you will derive the benefit. Otherwise, time will go, many days, many years will go. You would have chanted 16 rounds every day, but even after 10 years of chanting, you will see no progress. So don't get to that situation.
We should concentrate on name and chant.
Yeah, to begin with, the simplest way to concentrate is keep on hearing what you chant. Okay? And that will
Yes,
give
Prabhuji.
the Lord is there in your heart. As you make progress, He will guide you.
Yes, yes.
He'll navigate you to success. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, thank you for all your wonderful questions, and thank you for your patience and attendance in hearing the glories of the holy name. So we'll meet again next Saturday morning, and let's see if we can improve our chanting within this 1 week time. To see, I want to hear reports. Prabhuji, I'm better in my consciousness, I'm better in my hearing, whatever it may be. That will motivate me as a speaker and me as a mentor for each of you. Okay? Thank you. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaut Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha. Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavata Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Dandavat
Hare
Pranam Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavata Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.